All right, Dan, take it away. It's all you, brother.
All right. So first take hit me up. They were like, listen, Stephen A's list this season have stunk. We need you to make a good list. So I have made the top 5 MVP candidates. And listen, for all you people who are like, MVP talks too early. No, it's not. We're in October now, okay? Like, we can start to get into this. I'm going to start with number 5, probably the most surprising one. I'm putting a rookie up there. Mecca Ibuka.
Wow.
Mecca Ibuka, without some of those star receivers, he has 7 catches that have gone for over 35 or 25 yards this year. 3 of them being touchdowns, by the way, that leads the NFL. Through like 2 weeks, it was like, this guy's going to win Offensive Rookie of the Year. He's been that impactful for his team. He's number 5 in the MVP list. Number 4, Puka Nacua. I'm going to give everybody the dumbest stat of the season so far. Right now, Puka Nacua for the Rams is on track for 175 catches for 2,000 yards, and 105 of those 175 catches would be for first downs. He's a walking first down, and that would break NFL history. Number 3, shocking to say, it's Daniel Jones. Or Jared Goff, excuse me. Jared Goff. Number 1.
That means Daniel Jones is coming.
Most accurate quarterback in the NFL right now. 75% completion percentage. His coordinator was gone. His center, all-pro Frank Ragnow, gone. Also, the run game in Detroit hasn't been absolutely dominant outside of that Baltimore game. Jared Goff's been doing a lot of it through the air. Number two, Daniel Jones.
Pray.
So far this season, the Colts have scored or had 30 drives that have been touchdown drives. 30 as their quarterback. They've only had 10 that have either been a turnover or a punt. 3 times the amount of drives that have given the ball to the other team have been touchdown drives, and it's partly, or main part, because of Daniel Jones. Number 1, Baker Mayfield. This is the easiest decision so far this season. They're 4-1. Mike Evans and Chris Godwin have played 1 snap together this year. They've had 4 different offensive lines, and they have been trailing in the final minute of the 4th quarter in every game, and yet they have still won. When it comes to value, Baker Mayfield, number 1 in the NFL so far. That's my MVP list, top 5. You're welcome.
Stephen A., a lot to unpack here.
Rip him.
Nah, he can't.
Go
So no
in.
Dak Prescott?
There you go.
Not you, though.
Not Dak Prescott.
I know you not bringing up Dak Prescott. You don't even get to do it.
not
You
Dak
should have
Prescott.
let me and Mina go.
Yeah, we wanted.
You can't say
I can
that.
answer
How you treat that man.
I can answer the
You
Jack.
treat him worse
Hold
than
it,
dead.
hold it. Excuse me. I am a man of the people, and I'm fair. Dak Prescott is having an MVP caliber season thus far this year. I'm not saying he's number 1. I'm simply saying, how you gonna not have him in the top 5?
Because this isn't like playing really good award. This is the value to their team award.
You think he's playing just really good?
No, he's playing very good. This isn't a shot at
Value
Dak
to your
Prescott.
team.
Bro, they
The
don't have
Dallas
Dak
Cowboys would be
Prescott. They're not
winless if it
close.
wasn't for Dak
They're not
Prescott. They'd be
close in
winless.
any game.
Bro, they're 2-2. They beat the Jets and the Giants.
Bro, they're not close in any game.
They're 2-2.
without
They beat-
Dak Prescott.
Now you're doing win-loss for this?
But
They got a tie with Green
They got
Bay.
a whole-
So we take a receiver off a team that's what, 3-2.
Yeah.
They knew it Puka Nacua and put him over Dak Prescott.
Okay, are the Rams even remotely close to being 3-2 with?
I'm sorry. Okay, no, I got to get in here. All last season, I had to hear Dan Orlovsky, Joe Burrow is the only thing keeping the Bengals
Say it
alive.
again.
The win-loss record might
Don't
not
matter.
be great, but the quarterback is playing so well. He is holding this
Preach.
thing up.
They call him
So
receipt.
that doesn't apply to
They
Dak
call him
Prescott?
receipt.
No, but
That
they've
same
only
logic
beaten the
doesn't
Jets and
count
the
if
Giants.
it's Dak Prescott doing it and not Joe
No,
Burrow.
but okay, who do you want to take
Who
off
did
the
the
list?
Bengals beat?
Who did
Mecca
beat the
Ibuka.
Ravens?
Bengals beat.
They
Yes,
beat the
I'm not-
Ravens?
You can't have a quarterback and a receiver from the same team on this top
Yeah, you
five
gotta
list.
take out
Come
Mecca
on.
Ibuka.
Would the Buccaneers be 4-1 without Ibuka?
No, I don't believe they would be.
Jared Goff wouldn't be 4-1 without Amon-Ra St. Brown. We can do this for all
We
of
can do
these
that with
guys. Matthew
everybody.
Stafford wouldn't be.
I disagree with that.
So Daniel Jones is 4-1 without Jonathan Taylor, without a defense that creates the turnovers against the Las Vegas Raiders.
We can
Like you
play
can do that with everybody.
No, we can absolutely do that with
Dak
everybody.
Prescott belongs.
Why was it okay for Joe Burrow for that team to be losing a lot of games and not for Dak Prescott?
Was
Well,
he
why are
in
you applying
contention for you at all? Like maybe 5A, number
Absolutely,
6.
I think he was in there. McCaffrey was in there as well for me for conversation. Shoot, Mac Jones was going to be in there for a conversation for me as well. One, we have. It's only 5 games in. It's only 5 games in with the Cowboys. 2, they're 2-2-1.
Hey, Dan.
They've only beaten the
Dan.
Jets and the Giants.
Hey, Dan.
God,
Hey, Dan.
you guys
Dan.
get so stuck on
A
Dak.
C like in a C, like in see what the hell you did. You got RC calling you out. You got Mina calling you out. You got MJ looking at you and saying she don't know what the hell you're thinking. And you got me pointing out that you got 2 wide receivers ahead of a quarterback that's playing an MVP caliber on an MVP caliber level. Dallas would not have won a game if it would not, or tied the game if it would not for Dak Prescott. You are wrong. Your
They
list
beat
is
the
shaky
Jets and the Giants, Stephen A.
Sit
I have a
down.
question, though. How can you go, it's not too early to make the MVP list?
What is the schedule?
It's not too early to bring up the MVP list, but you only played 5 games, so Dak Prescott
That
can't
was
be
in
on
a
it.
direct correlation question to the Joe Burrow conversation of last year. That really started to heat up.
But you know what, though?
sometime like early November, mid-November.
You know what I do love about you? I love your evolution. There was once a time in your life you just wanted to be right. Now you understand, in order to be great, you have to be entertaining. No, and sometimes to entertain, you have to be purposely so damn wrong, dude, that you rile up.
I want to see the qualifiers.
You know what's about to happen? Pete's gonna run out here after this, and he's gonna go.
You figure that out in the break with Orlovsky, because we got to go to break. Yeah, sorry guys, I got to keep us.
Hembo, great job. Look, so much about a quarterback's success is not where he's picked in the draft, but where he winds up going and how he's supported. And there is the greatest evidence of it right there. Sam Darnold, the last couple of years in Minnesota, where they believed in him and supported him. In Seattle, where they believe in him big time. They think that he's been an upgrade at quarterback. And Baker Mayfield arrived in Tampa surrounded by weapons. They built around him, supported him, and he's risen to the challenge. Look at the places that he was where he flamed out. Carolina, Cleveland, Sam Darnold, the Jets, Carolina.
Yeah. They were together in Carolina briefly, the two of them, yeah.
Places that have not done quarterbacks the right way, right?
To say the very least. So here's my question to you, Dan, because you obviously, I respect your opinion on this stuff as much as literally anyone's I know. What does it say about the development of quarterbacks in the NFL that Sam Darnold is on his 5th team, Baker Mayfield is on his 4th, and right now the two of them are among the top 2 or 3 candidates for MVP of the league?
Yeah, I think it starts with this. There's a difference between development and performance at that position. You can have performance without development, and that's a temporary thing. We've seen quarterbacks come into the NFL, maybe have a good year or two because they've got a trait and they don't really ever develop. And then you can have development without performance. That's the one that you actually really want for the long term. And I think when you look at Baker and Sam and Daniel Jones, but not in that class, but one, snaps matter. Snaps matter, experience matters. And those 2 players, Baker and Sam Darnold, had a lot of snaps. They had a lot of snaps in their college career. They had a lot of snaps in their NFL career. And 2, resiliency matters. Those 2 things are mandatory.
Yep.
Toughness, mental toughness, not allowing doubt to creep in. It's a mandatory skill set. It's a talent. It's a mandatory talent to play quarterback at this level, at a high level in the league.
I would add to it. I agree with everything you just said, and I would add to it. It just it's a perfect illustration of the value of elite coaching in the National Football League. More than all the other sports put together, the right coaching and the elite coaching, if you have Sean McVay or Kyle Shanahan or Kevin O'Connell or one of these guys, they're worth as much as any player, literally any player in the league, because they take guys that other teams gave up on and they turn them into legitimate stars in the NFL. And so that is where I stand behind that statement on the screen there. What do you think of the whole thing?
Yeah, I think that we're looking at a world where about 10 years ago, it was quarterbacks would come into a offensive system and the coach essentially be like, you need to fit my system. And all those coaches you just said, it seems like when they get these quarterbacks in, they don't say, well, this is my system, this is how it's going to work. They say, okay, what are your strengths and what are your weaknesses? We're going to utilize your strengths and minimize your weaknesses as much as possible. And that's where, when you say these coaches are just as valuable as the quarterbacks, I agree with you, and Jimmy Sexton does too.
Yeah, situation matters, coaching matters, but something you spoke on that I from the lens of if there's young athletes watching or anybody else, the resiliency factor. You know, you see Baker speak about it, like there's some saltiness they might carry with them from a situation, but they're not blaming the situation. They're going out there, they are now creating their own evidence by keeping their belief, putting that action to work, keeping their head down, staying focused, believing in the coaching. So for me, I love the takeaway on resilience, mental toughness.
The mandate.
Yes.
Mandate. We'll come back to it, but it's a fascinating topic, and it's worth looking back at some of the previous draft classes to get a sense.